Alrighty, this week I'm going to be bringing you a little bit of footage of what's been happening on this little LC Torana behind me. So it's been here for the past month or two, and we've given it a bit of a makeover. So the car came to me with a couple of just niggling issues. That had an alternator issue, so we've gone ahead and fixed that. But initially it came to me just to tidy a few areas up on the car that the owner wasn't happy with. And we've gone ahead and done a bit of a makeover on this car, and we've taken it from a good car and done all the little things and all those 1%ers that turn a good car into a great car. And it's transformed it pretty good, I think. It's starting to look pretty wild. It looks like a completely different car now. So we'll turn a camera around and we'll talk through some of the things that we've had to do to bring this thing up to scratch. Alright, this is Cameron's LC. I don't know if we've really covered a lot on it yet, but just thought I'd touch base on what we're doing. So it's just in for basically a bit of love. So sitting at the moment on a set of Convo Pros. We're going to go along and change them, as they're not really doing the car much justice. It's got a beautiful, I guess you'd call it blue. It's a bluey green metallic. It's absolutely really nice. So it's just had a full metal bonnet done on it. I think that is a 3-inch or 3.5 inch, but it's turned out really well. But we're just going along doing some cosmetic changes. So it had some red wheel woods on it, as we would have seen. So we've just removed them and put a new set of black ones on it and cleaned up all the aluminium hubs, which were really corroded and dirty from all the brake dust. So we've polished them up. And also we've gone along and adjusted all the tie rod ends to try and bring the wheel out. As you can see, has a tubular front end in it. So the front wheels from McDonald Brothers, they sit quite in. So running these, I think they're 5.5 inch without knowing, but 5.5 inch Convo Pros, and they sat quite a long way in. So we're putting a 3.5 inch front runner on it now. So he's changing up the rims. We'll show you those shortly once we get some tires. But we've just had to also machine up a really thin spacer. So I've gone with a spacer just to bolt onto these. When you fit a billet specialty to these, they just rub on a 320mm wheeled caliper kit. So I've gone ahead and had them made. So we've also had to even out the spacings on the caliper, as when the red ones were on here, the caliper was all in and the pads were wearing unevenly as well. So we've spaced the caliper so it's dead even now to the rotor. Might mention while I'm there, these calipers, brand new, over $800, and they don't even come with brake pads. So we've had to use the brake pads out of the old ones, but you can see the condition that they were in, just and being red doesn't look really good behind the wheel, especially on a Torana like this. So it might be alright if you got, I guess, a VE HSV or something, but red doesn't really flow. So we've just got the intake manifold off at the moment, so there's not much to see under here, as we're just working through cleaning all that up. So the engine bay is getting a bit of a makeover with love as well. We're also going to go ahead and obviously the rear wheels are coming off. We're going to put a new set of bead locks on it as well. But we're also going to go ahead and do all the blackouts around the windows he isn't too happy with. It's a little bit blotchy and peely. Could be done a little bit better, so we're going to change that from, it is a gloss, which is a bit blotchy. We're going to change them all to satin black, to how they were, give them a bit of love. And we're just going to change all the door belts as well, that are, as you can see, just needing a bit of love. So yeah, we're just going to give it a bit of TLC, go over it. It's going to get a new set of, change the seat belts up, as they are like an aftermarket belt and buckle. So we're going to go ahead and put all new GM seat belts in that. And yeah, just a few things to tidy up the car and give it the love it needs, and just little things like making sure the window rubbers fit nicely. And then up here, that's kind of wrapped around in a single piece. We'll slice that up there and put it in the corner of the door frame nice. And also, like I mentioned, go along and do all these blackouts. So we're going to remove the quarter windows, they can come out, the rear windows, and then I'm going to remove all these window rubbers and barley channels, and then we can go ahead and mask up all this door and work ahead prepping it for some satin black. Alrighty, doors have been, or the door frames have all been etch primed and just painted in a 2K primer. It's set really good, so I did that about an hour or 2 hours ago now, and it's all ready to go. Just finished doing the quarter vent windows as well for the back, and it's all ready to go. So I just mixed up some eggshell black in 2K, which is a 4:1, and we're ready to lay the paint on. So what better time to do it than at 6:21 on a Saturday? Let's get into it. Alrighty, so just done the second coat on the inside of the quarter windows. So a little strategy that I try and stick to myself is putting a dust coat on first and then quickly go over it wet and walk away. So, I mean, I like to give it 10 to 15 minutes for it to flash off. Otherwise you will end up getting runs or it looks wet. So I walked away, done the doors, and then came back to it. I'll put one last wet coat on it, and I'm just going to leave that now, as it is the inside of the windows, which you never see unless of course you open the latches and hinge the windows out. But it's come out pretty good. I'm just going to let them dry now, and hopefully that flashes off really nice, and just focus on getting the outsides of these nice and the door frames that you actually see. All done, baby. Let's see how this flushes off. Hopefully it's not too shiny, but at the same time try and retain that satin. It is what it is, so we'll see how it turns out. I'm pretty happy with it. For someone that is not a painter, it just comes down to getting shit done, and that's what we do. Alrighty, finally you're ready for some top coat or base coat. I rubbed through in a little area just in the middle of the valley, so I've just touched that up with some touch-up primer this morning. I ran out of 2K of the other stuff, so that's just like a spot primer, a little bit in there as well. So wet sanded that back. I've just hosed it all off, and now blown out all the threads with the airline and sponged it all, and she's ready to paint. So it's just been sitting in the sun, and whack it in the shed and tack rag it, whack some silver on it. Let's go. and we're back. So been a couple sleeps between drinks, but since the last time we filmed, we had the manifold just finished painting it. So I've just finished getting it back together on the engine, dummy assembled everything on the table, all fuel fittings all rearranged from where it was obviously previously before at the front. Still waiting on a few bits and pieces, and just going to tidy up the wiring for the nitrous and fuel solenoids, and just tidy up a few little things like the red wiring stuff that you can see. And we're just waiting on another set of valve covers to come and some rear wheels. So just going to get the car fired up in the minute. New front wheels looking amazing, really sets the car off, and we changed the front calipers to black, as you would have seen, and cleaned up all the rotors as well. So that's looking good. We fitted a little spacer in there as well. Had Chris at CK just machine up one from Billet in the lathe, and that works well, as obviously with a 320mm brake kit, these are extremely close. So all working well. We have to adjust the front end to try and get the wheels sitting nice now. We'll give it some camber back as the wheels are pushing and leaning out at the top, but we'll get it over on the hoist and sort that out as well. So got most of it all buttoned up, still some little things to finish it off. Complemented the manifold with some titanium hardware from Greg Damiani. They look pretty good. I've set the Dizzy back in. Be interesting to see how far that's out. Probably is. And whack some rags down in the manifold, give it a prime the fuel system, see if there's any leaks, and see if this thing fires up. We'll get it warm, and then we can let it seal and sit. I've done the manifold and all the silicon, and hopefully no leaks, touch wood. And we'll set the fuel pressures, and hopefully it's all good. Alrighty, so initially the owner of this car brought it to me pretty much to just do the intake manifold. So we wanted to smooth that out and do it pretty much exactly the same as mine is on the LC, and also the yellow hatch. So that was the original plan. And then just go over some things on the car. He pretty much said to me, whatever you see that needs to be done or you'd fix, just do it. And the owner's been really good, so he's been super patient. Some things have taken longer on this car than I would have liked, but supply and demand has been pretty bad, and some of the quality of things you get from places these days isn't really up to scratch. So being pretty fussy, I wanted to make sure that everything was 100%, especially before he picked the car up. So we've gone over the car and done a heap of things, you know, from the blackout to the manifold. We've along with the manifold, so getting back to that, so we're neatening that up, and smoothing that out from the raw casting. But mainly the whole point of that was to neaten up all the nitrous system and the fuel lines that was in the engine bay, and just pretty much give the engine bay a makeover that it deserves. And it's transformed the engine bay now to something completely different to what it was. So it's just like I said previously, all those little 1%ers that go into making a good car a great car. And I believe we've got there now with this one. So we'll spin the camera around, throw over the engine bay, the body, and we'll talk through some of the things we've done to spruce this little thing up. So it's recently gone into a panel shop and had a complete, I think that's a 3-inch, but it's a completely steel bonnet. Was previously a little 2-inch, I think it was fiberglass, but completely all steel now. It's not a bad paint match, as obviously this is a pretty tricky color to match, but so while it's been in, we've done the wheels, we've completely changed the brakes from the red calipers over to black, cleaned everything up, given it a polished detail. We come along to the front. Initially it had just a factory looking sealed beam H4 headlight. We've gone ahead and fitted up the crystal headlights, which just make that whole complete chrome front pop a lot nicer, especially with the custom paint that this thing's got. And just little things like that. So we've gone ahead, done that. As discussed, we changed the blackouts around all the windows from gloss to satin black, just to give it that factory look. That's come out really good. We've changed all the window rubbers, the barley channels, as some of them were cracked. And where they were installed was, they've installed them as one piece the whole way around. So now we've put them in, might have cut the corners, and that's come out really good. Popped the rear windows out and did those on the bench, so it was just easier to wet sand them inside and out and then reinstall them back into the car without masking the car up and whatnot. So that's turned out good. And obviously the wheels being a big change, so billet specialties up front, ripped off all the Convo Pros and fitted these up. So 3.5-inch front runner with a 165/80, and then we come down to the back and we've got these 15x8 single bead locks. They're just a Max Dumsney wheel from Melbourne, which match up pretty close to the front runners like the billet specialties, and we've just topped them off with some WM titanium wheel nuts with a 275/50 PSR wrapped around the outside. We come along to the inside, and previously the car just had been fitted with some reproduction seat belts. So we went ahead and had all new seat belts made in GM ones, so all new buckles, chromed, all new webbing, just little things like that. Previously the reproduction ones had been grabbing the edge of the seat up here, and they've done a little bit of damage to the seat and also the door trim, so that won't be happening anymore. And also fitted up all new buckles to the back, of course, as well. While we were attacking the blackouts, we also removed it's got aftermarket windows in this car, but they're quite tricky to go up and down. So while we were there, we removed all the glass, bought another set, which was shaped completely different again. So we've been through a few headaches with aftermarket glass on this car. So if anyone's running that, you understand what I'm going through, but the shape's completely different to an LCLJ door frame. So what we've had to do is install his original glass back into it, and we've modified all the rubbers, the channels and the backings. We've tried to thin those out as much as we can and move the quarter window up forward as far as possible, just to gain some leverage on the door, on the window winder, as it was very firm. We've got them a bit better, but they're still not great, but they're a lot better, and they fit inside the door frame better than the other glass that we purchased. So we've installed that back in now. We've gone ahead and changed all the check straps. They had some bolts in through the latch that goes into the front pillar there, so we've changed those over all to the factory pins that it needs to be. But we'll open the bonnet now and we'll give you a look under there and show you all how that turned out. So a lot of hours under here tidying everything up, along with the manifold, the fuel system, and all the nitrous now mostly moved towards the back. Wiring neatened up as best we can. We've gone ahead, removed the old sheet metal valve covers and replaced them with some billet ones, which absolutely looks mint. We cleaned up all the cylinder heads with some acid and Scotch-Brite. They look $1 million, along with all the headers. They've been re-Scotch-Brited. And we also fitted up a new set of breather cans, just some Moroso ones, fitted out with all Raceworks hose and fittings. Some billet thermostat housing. We obviously put on that new alternator down there, which is doing the job now. On this side it was hard with the pipes, so the leads on this side do run along the top, and we've got them away from the pipes, whereas on this side managed to tuck them down now and nice, whereas before they came up and around and they stood out a little bit. So we've gone ahead and hid everything as best we can, and obviously all the wiring that was, you could see before, red, pink fittings, we've changed them all to black. Heat shrunk everything, taped it, and it's come out really neat. So we've just got a little vacuum hose sitting up there at the back for the trans, which we've got to finish off, but apart from that it's looking pretty good. We just mounted those through the front, those cans each side, with nut certs into the cans without making a mess, and obviously new bracketry. It's obviously really smooth now, and you can't really see anything, which is good and just how we like it. It was tricky to get into, but previously there was on that side there was a breather can for the overflow system, which ran 2 lines into one. So now that we've got 2, we also needed to sort out the radiator overflow, so that was mounted here on a funny little bracket with the hose just shoved into it. So now we've gone ahead and just fitted up some Teflon braid from Raceworks that runs down to the bottom, and we've managed to fit up a billet Raceworks container down there, and we've mounted that off of one of their billet brackets, which is then bolted in through the factory bumper bar support, so we didn't have to drill any extra holes. We just machined out the size of the countersunk hole in the bracket to fit in there, and that turned out really good as well. So it's hidden away, you can't really see it, and then obviously the catch cans are symmetrical to the engine bay and just makes it look really neat. Previously the car's been raced down the quarter. He has obviously got it set up on the nitrous as well, and it's gone 980 with a few hesitations. It's breaking down here and there, but one of the things he wanted to change up was the rear shockers. They didn't have really any adjustment. They were kind of put in there for street duties with no adjustment at all. So we've gone ahead and fitted up some QA1s. They might be hard to see. We fitted up some double adjustable QA1s. We've got the spring rate set nice now, whereas before I reckon they're around 300 pounds in this thing. It was very stiff and no adjustability. So we've gone double adjustables, put a lighter spring in there, and fitted back those tailpipes back on, and it's ready for some runs. But I think he wants to get the car out, have some fun with it at roll racing, which will be perfect with the PSRs. And it'd be good to just whack this thing back on the dyno, give it a run, check over the nitrous system, make sure everything's working 100%, and probably get some wheels up action happening out of this thing. Fitted up this thing with a twin 3-inch exhaust system with custom headers done by Dan over at Fat Guts. He's done a really good job. The car lately has been pretty tricky since getting it back together to start, so we've just played around with the carby and got that running so much nice now. It was pretty rich, so I think we'll flick this thing in the guts and see what it sounds like. Hopefully start it now without any fuel, because before it was taking a lot, so let's see how that goes. this thing looks. Wowee. That looks so bloody good. Pretty wrapped with that. Looks bloody mint. Runs nice and cool now that we've got a water temperature gauge working. Alright, let's head back. Overall, really happy with this one. Turned out $1 million. Pretty keen for the owner to see it this afternoon. It's getting picked up. In the meantime, it's time to clean up this shed. It's an absolute mess. Can box up all his old stuff and get it ready to give back. If you like this video, make sure you're sure to leave a comment, like, subscribe, do all the things you got to do, and we'll see you all on the next one. Cheers, guys.